Curious George is getting a big surprise. He's going to the beach for the first time ever. All week he's been asking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? But it's finally time to go. George, can't wait to get his little paws on that water. It's gonna be so much fun. George jumps into the car with all of his toys and off they go. The ride to the beach is taking a little longer than expected, so George starts to get bored. He starts throwing his toys around the car. "Stop it, George," says the man in the yellow hat. "We're almost there, just a few more minutes." But George isn't listening. He's already out of his seat and climbing all over the dashboard. The man in the yellow hat sighs. Maybe if he takes a detour through the drive-thru, he can get some coffee. Surely that will wake him up enough to finish the drive. But at the drive-thru, there's a line, and George just can't wait. So while the man in the yellow hat is getting the coffee, George opens the car door and climbs out. He looks around. Where is everybody? Why isn't anyone playing? The water looks like so much fun. George decides to make a splash and jumps right in. Luckily, a woman walking by sees George and rushes over to help. She pulls George out of the water and calls out to see if anyone's around. A little girl walks over and asks, "Are you lost, little monkey?" George looks around again. Yes, he's lost. And where are all the people from his group? The little girl smiles and says, "I'll help you find them." She takes George by the hand and leads him down the beach. They walk past a volleyball net and George stops. He remembers now. His group was playing a game. He just got so excited about the water and took off running. Just then, the man in the yellow hat comes running down the beach. He'd followed George's footprints in the sand and was calling out George's name. When he sees George, he lets out a huge sigh of relief and scoops him up in a big hug. "Oh, George," he says, "I was so worried about you. Don't ever wander off like that again." George snuggles the man in the yellow hat. He is glad to be safe, and then he notices the little girl. "Thank you," he says. "You helped me find my dad." The little girl waves. "No problem. I had fun playing with you." And with that, she runs off to join her friends. The man in the yellow hat puts George down. "Come on, George," he says. "It's time to play some beach games." George nods. He's so happy to be at the beach. He and the man in the yellow hat spend the day playing. They played a lot of fun games, but George's favorite was the water balloon toss. They tossed and splashed each other with water balloons until they were both soaked. And then the man in the yellow hat bought George an ice cream cone. It was the perfect day. On the way home, George falls asleep, dreaming about all the fun he had. The man in the yellow hat drives slowly, giving George a little extra time to sleep. He wakes up just long enough to say, "Thanks for a great day," before falling back asleep. And when they get home, George tells his adventure to all the other monkeys. They all want to go to the beach now. The end.